my channel. If it's your first time here, you're watching Booked on Charity, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you my possibility pile for the month of September. I say possibility because I do have a couple of books next to me. I've got 10 books with me here, and I've got a mix of books that I have the audiobook for on SCRIBD, so I made sure to be very selective of that. And then I've got also books that I've been meaning to read, especially in the month of August, and I didn't get to, so I'm trying to see if September will be a better month specifically for those books. So yeah, so starting off, I've got a book that I'm currently reading, so obviously it's going into this pile, and that is In the Life of Puppets, and this is by TJ Klune. I received this copy from the people at Pan Macmillan, and so far so good. I am on page 38 so I'm like really early into this book, but I'm absolutely loving it. The writing style is so good. It's so TJ Klune. It's humorous, yet it's warm, it's quirky, the characters are so lovable. We've got a android by the name of Giovanni who stumbled upon this forest here that had like this little house that was kind of like in a mess, and he fixed it up and he stored it with like all different kinds of things that he salvaged. And then he realized, oh, I don't have a place to live, and then he started building a home for himself on top of the tree, so basically a tree house. And then one day these humans come running past his home, and they have a baby with them, and they're like, please take this baby. They seem like they on the run. Somebody or something is chasing them, and they asking for refuge for their kid. He ends up raising this child. This kid is called Victor, and we kind of like move forward where I think Victor is like a teenager right now, and there's 2 additional robots. One of them is a robot called Rambo, who suffers from anxiety, like heavy anxiety. And then we've got another robot called Wretched, and she's basically a nurse robot, and she's a psychopath or it is a psychopath. And we get to see their lives together, and like I'm still early in this, but I am looking forward to continuing with this one. It's quite warm, it's quite fun to read and listen to as well, because I do have the audiobook of this one and I'm absolutely enjoying it. The next book on my radar that I finally got the audiobook of as well, and it's been on my anticipated releases for the longest time, and I found myself just salivating every time I saw somebody on Instagram with this book. And I also want to say that I'm a little bit afraid of it because of the hype that is currently surrounding this book, and that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And yeah, I don't know much about it. So we follow a 20-year-old Violet who wants to be a scribe and live a quiet life amongst books and history, but because her mother is a commanding general of the Navarre, which is the Dragon Riders, her mother wants her to basically be a candidate for the Dragon Riders. But the thing about that is the dragons don't take kindly to the meek. It's either you become a dragon rider or you die, essentially. I think she also suffers from chronic pain, so with her physical ailments, it makes it a little bit hard for her to even be part of this. But knowing how these kind of stories go, she will find a way to become a dragon rider one way or another. But I've heard great things about this one, mostly great things. I think I've heard 1 or 2 that were not so great, but it's okay. The next book that I am so excited to get into, to continue on the second era of the series, I am looking forward to reading Iron Gold by Pierce Brown. I finished Morning Star, absolutely loved it, absolutely gave it a 5-star that it deserves, because there's no other series that's rocking my world right now except for this one. So yeah, I'm getting into Iron Gold soon. I think when I'm done with In the Life of Puppets, I might want to read Fourth Wing, and then I'll get into Iron Gold before I continue with the rest of the books. But I try to give myself a bit of a break in between and read other books so that, you know, I can build up my excitement again. Not that it wasn't there from how the book ended. I just don't want to get myself tired. I don't want to get myself tired, so I want to give myself a break. But this is also a book where I've got the audiobook ready and loaded on SCRIBD, and I absolutely cannot wait. The next book I've got was a gift from Katleho Malela's channel, and she actually gifted me this book last year, and she was like, oh my gosh, we've been talking about this book, we heard amazing things about this book, we want to read it, we should read it together. And then the year happened and then we didn't. But I think I'm ready to read it now, and that is Legend Born by Tracy Deonn. You guys know, you know what the story is. I don't know what the story is, but you guys know what the story is. But yeah, this is an Arthurian retelling, and it follows a young girl called Bree, and after her mother dies, she goes and enrolls in a school that her mother was in, and then also ends up like joining the secret society or something like that, and discovers the secrets that are there in the secret society. But I don't even want to read the back of the book because I want to go into this one as blindly as possible. So yeah, looking forward to finally picking up Legendborn, and then I can go to book 2, which I haven't been hearing the best about. But I guess comparing it to this one is still people's favorite. So yeah, this is on my radar. And then another new release that I've got is Gin Palace. This is by Tracy Whitwell. This is the second book in the Accidental Medium series. I don't know how many books are in here. Is it called a series? Yes. Adventures of an Accidental Medium series. Book 1 was okay. I'm hoping book 2 will go a bit better. I like that this one is like pretty short, so looking forward to it. Also got the audiobook of this one. I think it's like 5 hours long, which is great. I'm also like trying to catch up to my reading goal. Right now I think I'm sitting at 48 books for the year, which I'm behind. My initial goal was to read 100 books, but I've kind of like brought that down to 80, only so that I can see my tracking looking better than it did before, because I realized when it looked bad, like with 20 books behind schedule, it gave me a little bit of it made me a bit anxious. So I don't wanna see that number, so I brought it down to 80, and now I'm looking at like 6 books that I'm behind, and I can quickly catch up because I'm also getting back to reading more graphic novels and manga, which actually I will talk about at the end of showing all the physical books. And then I've got One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. This book was gifted to me by the people at Wordsworth Books, and also got the audiobook of this one. I tried to really plan my month, especially on SCRIBD. So when SCRIBD opened up for me again for the month, I actually scrolled through and checked which books I'd be interested in reading in the next couple of weeks, and I downloaded those audiobooks, and it's books where I have the physical copies of. That's what I concentrated mostly on. So yeah, looking forward to reading One for My Enemy. Apparently this is like a Romeo and Juliet retelling following 2 witch families that are rivals, and I don't know what else is going on. Obviously there's gonna be a romance in here, so I'm looking forward to it. I tried starting the audiobook. It was tough. It was tough because you cannot start the audiobook without the physical, because the first thing that happens is this: they read the list of characters for you, and I was just like, what is going on? I I cannot like keep up with what's going on. But there's two families, the Fedorovs and the Antonovas. So I guess Roman, called Roma or Romik, who is the second of the Fedorov brothers, will be maybe with Jelena, which is I guess supposed to be Juliet in the story. Yeah, who is called Galia or sometimes Galinka, the sixth of the Antova sisters. So looking forward to this one. I've actually never read any books that are based on Romeo and Juliet, so looking forward to picking this one up. And then the next set of books I do not have audiobooks for, but have been on my radar for a little bit. First is Gleam by Raven Kennedy. I've got this copy from Penguin Random House. I read the first two books and I want to go back to continuing with the series before I start to forget very important details of what happened, and I feel like I'm slowly starting to get there. So somewhere in between, I need to figure out after like which of these books I'm going to read next. All of my books fantasy. All of the books that I've shown I didn't even realize, but all the books I've shown so far are fantasy, or well, I guess there's mystery, but there's magical as well, and sci-fi. Wow. Okay, guess I'm staying true to my nature of reading, and it's the best thing. Just hold on. It was the best thing for me to do because what, 2 months ago I struggled. I really struggled with my reading, and then in August my reading started to pick up again, and I was very intentional about the books that I pick. And I think I was talking to Katla the other day, and she was also saying the same, that if she would pick up a book and it's not good, put it down, because it will make you not want to read. Because in July and like beginning of August, I was still so entranced in rewatching The Vampire Diaries that every chance I got, I was like, I want to see what's happening next. So I didn't read. But yeah, I'm so glad to be back to reading. So the next book I have is a YA thriller. I think it's the only book here that's actually not a fantasy or sci-fi. And this one is called This Is How the World Ends, and this is by Jen Wild or Wilder. I'm not sure how you would pronounce this, but looking forward to this one. Very short. I think it's a school-based thriller where some of the characters are like rich, and you probably have one character that is not so rich. Yes, so we've got an autistic representation, because one of the main character, I guess in this case, won a autistic scholarship at a prestigious New York school. So obviously they will always talk about the struggle of fitting in and probably bullying and things like that. So I hope that the mystery and the thriller in here is pretty good. Yeah, the next one that I've been really looking forward to, but then when I think I need to pick it up probably over the weekend, because when I try to pick it up during the week, especially late in the evening, I struggle to read because of the font, right? And not the font size, but the type of font, because I realize that at the end of the day my eyes get so sensitive, and I really struggle with like on paper reading. And now that the font, the actual font, I don't know if you'll be able to tell. Makes it a little bit difficult for me. But that book is Little Thieves, and this is by Margaret Owen. This book is so gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. I'm looking forward to reading this book so much. The synopsis on it's so good, and I think I've read it probably in one of my book haul videos. The last physical book I have is Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey, which is a pen name for two authors. I don't know if they tell us here, but One of the authors is Daniel Abraham, who is the author of this book that I'm trying to pull out, who is the author of Age of Ash, which is also a book that I'm looking forward to picking up this year still. Maybe in the next month. I am really in my sci-fi era right now, and I can't wait to like pick up more sci-fi books because I'm absolutely loving the sci-fi novels. I'm trying to see if they tell us. I think on Goodreads they do, but yeah, James S.A. Corey is a pen name for two authors that came together to write the Expanse series, and this series is also has a TV adaptation on Prime, which I don't have Prime, but maybe after reading this I will consider getting Prime for a short period just so that I can watch the series, because I've heard that it's so good. So on the graphic novel side, I'm continuing with Lore Olympus. I've got volume 1 physically, but I do not have volume 2 yet. The graphics in here, I actually like them. They're like mostly red and blue, but I like kind of like the imperfection of it, and I love like watching their faces. Like for me, graphic novels and manga, the storytelling is in the drawing, it's in the facial expressions, which I'm having a lot of fun with. So I am currently reading volume 2 on Webtoon. Webtoon is an app, and they have a lot of graphic novels there that are free to read. So I've got Lore Olympus on there, and I've got volume 5 of Heartstopper, which is not out yet, but they do have the graphic novels ready on Webtoon, so I'm reading it there. And then on the manga side, I haven't picked anything to read, but yesterday I opened it up because I opened up my app, which is the app I use is called Shonen Jump. I opened up the app and I saw that they have One Piece, and the reason that I went to go look for One Piece is because I started watching One Piece on Netflix. We watched episode 1 last night, me and my husband, and I actually enjoy it. So yeah, now I was trying to compare the first couple of pages with what I saw, and I'm like, do I want to read the manga? I'm not sure, but it's kind of like at the back of my mind. And then the other manga that I still have to complete is Spy Family. I completed volume 2 via Shonen Jump, but I actually want to collect the physical copies, and those are available from exclusive books as well as bargain books, so they are accessible to me. I just need to start collecting them. It's just that there's a lot of volumes. I think there's like 9 volumes at 250 Rand each. You can do the calculations. So it's not a cheap thing. But if I want to pick it up, I have the option to do so. Also, there's other graphic novels that I'm reading on SCRIBD. Yo, I'm doing a lot. So on SCRIBD, I'm reading volume 9 of Saga. I am reading volume 2 of Paper Girls. I'm also reading volume 2 of Giant Days. And then I kind of sampled volume 1 of Low. So Low is by Rick Remender and Greg Tocchini. So I'll put the pictures here. Giant Days is by John Allison and Lisa Treeman, and then Saga is by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. So those are the authors plus the artists who do the illustrations, or the illustrators is what they're called. So yeah, so I'm busy with 3 graphic novels on SCRIBD, 2 on Webtoon, and 1 on Shonen Jump. So if I actually get to read all of those electronically, I could quickly pick up my reading, and this is the point. That's how I told myself I'm gonna get into the goal of reading 100 books, but it's been slow. And then in terms of audiobooks, because I do have an audiobook every single week that I'm reading, I just finished the London Seance Society. I give it like a 3.5 4.75 stars. I've got What Moves the Dead loaded and ready. I've got other ones. I've got 0 Days by Ruth Ware. I didn't have the best experience with reading the one book I read from Ruth Ware, so yeah. And then the other one that I'm looking maybe to read is The Disappearing Act, and this is by Catherine Stedman. So apparently this is a psychological thriller, which is my favorite kind of thriller, so I've got that also saved. So I've got a lot of books to read on audiobook wise. I'll probably get to all of them because I do always have an audiobook ready for me to read when I'm traveling to and from work and while working as well. And then we'll try to do all my graphic novels. But yeah, that is my TBR. Let me know what you're reading in the month of September. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.